I started this recovery journey of mine like back in 2007, and what I noticed first was just behavioral changes in myself, attention seeking. With the depression, I slept a lot. I felt like there was a lot of mood swings going on, like annoyed, then I'd be real happy. I didn't really want to feel some of the things that I was feeling associated with my past. So I know, like, I smothered it, with alcohol, and my mental health went downhill very quickly. I just wasn't managing it. It affected my job. I worked for the state at that point. I like to think of myself back then as a functioning alcoholic with depression and anxiety, but I wasn't functioning at all. It destroyed the relationship that I had with my first son's father. I also lost custody of my first child, and it ripped me apart. So the mental health got worse. I really wasn't looking at myself at that point. I was still blaming it on, situations in my past life and current situations. So it didn't happen right away. I've been in multiple rehabilitation places for drug and alcohol, which was, coexisting with the mental health. It didn't stick. I was in a 12-step program, and I just kept relapsing. I had about 3.5 years clean, and I had met somebody else in recovery, and I had my second child. And at this time, the relationship with my first son and I was on the mend. When my second son was about 2.5, 3 years old, I just, I said, I got this. And when I said that, that's exactly when I didn't. I stopped going to meetings. I stopped talking to my sponsor. I stopped taking care of my mental health, didn't take my medication, and didn't utilize the supports I had. It went downhill very quickly and worse than it was before. So finally, after the stay in the States, I got serious about my mental health because I knew that came first. I wasn't dealing with my feelings or emotions the way that I should be, so I suffocated them out, which made the situation even worse. I did intensive outpatient therapy at the Community Guidance Center, and I also did partial. And then I did, my therapy was probably about 3 to 4 years. So it helped tremendously. I used my supports. I went back to the 12-step meetings, worked those steps, had a sponsor, really brought God back into my life is the big one for me. Grew in my faith, and still to this day, I know I have to manage it. It's much better than it's ever been, but I still get those moments where I'm down on myself. I'm my worst critic, so I have to manage it one day at a time. Daily, I do positive daily devotions every single day to just remind myself that I can do this. I'm worth my recovery, and it's just such a better life. I have to play that tape through, even with the mental health. No, I don't want to say daily anymore because it's not a daily struggle with that part, but I have to maintain and use the supports. Using the supports and the resources I have is the main. I work with a ton of great people, and I have a very supportive family. So if I'm feeling like I'm sliding back in my depression, my anxiety, and not really noticing that I'm spiraling out of control, I have somebody else that's holding me accountable for sure now. Because I've made them aware, that these are the behaviors that you're going to see if I'm falling back. Tell me. I think the biggest thing I've learned about myself is that I am so much stronger than I give myself credit for. And I'm not that person that just does, how do I want to say it? I'm not that person that just doesn't take care of themselves anymore. I have hope, where I didn't before. I never thought that I would ever get to where I'm at right now with my mental health. Being 8 years clean, yes, it's amazing and it's a reward in itself. However, I was always told, don't count the days, make them count. And, being able to realize that I'm worth my recovery, I had to get my recovery and my worthiness in my own heart, to realize that I could do it, that I was strong enough, and that I was willing to do it for me. I think the strengths that I have now are just being able to share my story with other people and not sugarcoat it, just to have that courage to do that. I've been through a lot with not having my children, and we have amazing relationships today. I've damaged relationships that are just, they're repaired and they're beautiful. And you can do it if you want to do it. I always tell people that I support, through the agency that I work for, that don't give up that hope. It does exist. You just have to put, we can give all the suggestions in the world, and same with people with me. It's me that has to put the footwork in. I'm excited to be able just to continue to help others and stomp out that stigma. There's so much of it. And I just want to be able to tell people that, you're worth this. You can do it. And it's an amazing life when you're able to maintain and just recognize where those feelings and emotions are coming from and being mindful and replacing it with something positive. I'm very excited just to continue, honestly, to grow in my life and in recovery. I've gained so much knowledge just by even learning from my mistakes, even while being clean and maintaining my mental health. Being able to help others and to show them that this is absolutely possible, and hope is real,